you will be hearing from later. We just wanted to say how excited we are about the possibility of restoring and preserving these 100-plus-year-old recreational assets that these golf courses are to your community, and doing it in ways that are going to make everybody here proud. And as a lifelong Chicagoan, an avid golfer myself, believer in junior golf, ways that we're going to show things happening immediately this summer before anything else is happening on the project and design. So really welcome all of you to listen, learn, ask some questions, and next up I'm going to bring Al Devaney, who is working with Alderman Harrison.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming. And on behalf of Alderman Harrison, I stand here today. There was a call to the community's involvement, community's voices to be heard. And I knew that the Alderman and I had been speaking ever since the President was elected to the office of the United States President. And we knew this day would come, as well as that there would be a library in nowhere, because that's her call. But I knew there was no other footprint in Chicago like this. And when we heard the news that it was forthcoming and Mark Rothman's involvement, I said, oh my, this requires a tremendous effort. We knew that it would be so. So with that said, every stakeholder organization, resident, community organization, Friends of the Park, the South Shore Works, South Shore Advisory Council, Jackson Park Advisory Council, every conceivable stakeholder, residential organization, community is at the table. The voices being heard, even the Golfers Association, the Golf League, through I believe the last few meetings we've had, and understanding that it requires outreach and voices to be heard. I'm a lifelong golfer. My uncle, I would say, Neil started golfing Kennedy King many years ago. He's been golfing 60, 70 years. So it's been a part of my family. And I want everyone to know that their voice will be heard. There's the Alderman, there's the President, there's the Foundation, all of these stakeholders. Be understanding one thing, that it is a community effort. There will be benefits derived. It's about the youth. And I'm no longer young, I used to have a full head of hair once upon a time. And a few of you know me then. So I want everyone to be involved, be free to stand up, let your voice be heard, be involved, bring the youth. It's about the kids. This is the legacy. Support. Be a part of constructive communication, because it's going to be done and it will be a beautiful, just imagine the sterling views that we'll have, that we see around the world. And we, as a part of the golfers from around the country, around the world, I speak 5 languages because of that. And I want everyone to understand that your voices are, please get involved. And when I hear communication come from the office or from our organization, please step up and be a part of the answers and solutions. Thank you.
At this time, we're going to have special remarks from Dion Matkins. Dion, come on forward. And as he makes his way, I guess we really are going to have a wonderful golf course, because if we would have done this 2 or 3 hours ago, I don't think anybody would have come out in terms of that hailstorm that we experienced. Dion, please come forward with your remarks.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dion Matkins, Southside of play golf, teach golf. But when I first started, I just cut grass at Joe Louis for about 6 or 7 years. As I look around the crowd, I see a couple guys here that used to say, man, get out that mower and put a club in your hand. That's all right, just hurry up and get off the tee box so I can cut it and go my other way. But as I began to really check things out, I found a 7-iron ping, 7-iron on the fairway, and I picked it up and I started swinging it, and come to find out I actually had what they say a decent golf swing. So I start to really dig in, get it out the dirt. So for 2 years straight, I did something golf related every day, rain, sleet, or snow. I opened the golf course at 6 a.m. to cut the greens in the fairways and spray the chemicals. I clocked out at 2, I grabbed an apple or a banana, and I clocked back in, I grabbed my bag, and I walked the golf course back and forth and back, and I closed the gates at night. For 2 years straight, I did that. And I actually developed a pretty good game where I got myself down to about 4 or 5 handicap. Just kept going and meeting different people and indulging and just really wanting to see what this game was about, that I could play good one day and the next day I would like I never had a golf club in my hand before. It was a challenge to me. I'm from Chicago, but I grew up in Oklahoma. My mom was a travel nurse, so I played basketball. Sam Bradford was my quarterback in high school. I could grab on the different sports, ice hockey, but golf was a challenge. It made me think. It brought the best and the worst out of me, but I had to learn how to control myself. So I figured if I could get someone else like myself or younger or older to get involved and get the younger guys or gals involved in this, that we could probably change the world. Maybe today, no, but over a period of time, if we just reach one and teach one, they can reach each other. So I started my own non-for-profit organization, Hit It Straight Golf Academy, where I was just getting clubs, became a club fitter, a club smith, started cutting the clubs and giving them to kids, and then I actually met Mr. Hogan, and he introduced me to Miss Quinn, and I became a first tee coach, and I just kept snowball effect, and then I got a chance to meet Mr. Roger Cleveland, probably about 2 weeks ago at a Callaway event. And he told me about this man, Mr. Rawford here, this great guy that actually stood up and looked cancer in the face and fought it. So, you know, I just wanted to find out, like, what is it that has, you know, these guys they might tell you they shot a 68, which is not always true, but they'll turn in your wedges, and these guys are real friendly guys in the golf community, and they all took me in under their wings. I see Mr. Berry there, he had a place over there, swinging putt, gave me total access to his golf facility for 2 years straight, simulator. I got a chance to, and it developed me as a golfer. I turned into a ball striker. So I just wanted to get involved and get the other kids involved and just show them that there is something different that they can do besides standing around all day. And I would ask that everyone else just come together collectively as a community, no little I's or big U's. And like you said earlier, it's about the kids, man. I know I look young, but I'm pretty old, so it's about the kids. So let's all get involved with the kids. Thank you.
Again, speaking for our team, the early part of this project, the favorite thing of all of us is the people that we're meeting. Dion is right there, but also somebody who did. 5 years ago, actually a little more than that, 6 years ago, in my prior career at NBC Sports here at Channel 5 in the marketing department, I had the good fortune of meeting Mark Welcome when he was in town for Ryder Cup out of Diamond. Later, his lovely wife Debbie, who have been wonderful visionaries and passionate hometown Chicago roots for Mark. But we know this project here about improving these golf courses is nobody's idea. It predates most of us here in this room. And what was really needed though is somebody to energize the golf industry. Mark has done a great job of connecting dots between the first tee of Greater Chicago, which is going to be a great partner here in helping us plan the facilities. The Western Golf Association this summer will be training, subsidizing, and managing a caddy program in Jackson Harbor. It's going to have 20 kids from this local community out to work. So things are going to happen immediately here. But really, Mark was the glue and the big picture thinker to get a lot of these people, including the Park District and the golf leagues, all come together and do something like this. So we'd love to have Mark come up and share his vision and enthusiasm for what we have here and open up to questions.
Thank you, Brian. This is really overwhelming for me. I had no idea we would have a turnout like this today. Did y'all watch the Masters? Did people watch the Masters on TV? Yeah, how about that? That was great. It was a great day for golf yesterday. But I was just sitting here in my chair thinking that yesterday morning I was on television talking to millions half, I guess, people. And I couldn't see any of their faces. They couldn't talk to me, and yeah, it was great. And I was talking about Sergio Garcia and Justin Rose and Augusta National, but I was talking to people, not with them. They weren't talking to me. What is incredible for me today is to stand here and look out at your faces and your smiles and your enthusiasm and just know that it's reinforcing what really brought Debbie and I to the conclusion that this was a project that really had some legs. And the conclusion came because of the people. It didn't come because of this gem of a piece of property here on Lake Michigan, as much as it did because of the people. Chicago is the greatest golf town in America, period. And it's because of that, not because it's got the best golf courses. It's not because of the golf courses, it's because of the golfers. And that's you. That's why we're here. That's why we are enthused about this project. We have a lot of challenges ahead of us. But as Al said, this is going to be your project. This is not my project. This is not Debbie Rawford's project, or Brian Hogan's, or Michael Rumler's, or even the Chicago Parks Golf Alliance's project. This is your project. And it's going to be what you want it to be. And it's going to happen because you want it to happen if you want it to happen. But the main purpose of me wanting to be able to be here today and be able to listen was so that you could ask questions, so that this could be an interactive conversation. I really would like to try and answer any questions I can. I know that there's a lot of information and misperception floating around about maybe what is being considered or what isn't being considered, but remember, we're still very early in this process. There's a lot of feasibility that has to be done, but yes, the President of the United States is behind it, and yes, Tiger Woods is behind it, and that's a pretty good start. So I am going to open this thing up, and I don't know how we're going to take these questions, but Ron Norris has got himself a microphone somewhere. Where are you, Ron? Yeah, just come on right over here.
Good evening, everyone. So you know me? You don't, but I'm with the Jackson Park Golf Association, Executive Director. And we have organized our questions in such a way where the leads will speak first. The lead leaders will speak first for purposes of time. And then after the lead leaders have spoken and asked questions, then if there's any time remaining, then we will open up the floor to the body at large. So without any further ado, we're going to start with the Chicago Women's Golf Club, Ms. C.T. Henderson.
Yeah, good evening, everyone, and thank you all for this wonderful opportunity today. My name is C.T. Henderson. I am the president of the Chicago Women's Golf Club. We are the second oldest African-American women's golf club in the nation. We celebrate 80 years. Our organization, as well as our Bible Beach, which is our junior organization, we play both Jackson Park and South Shore quite often. And one of our questions that we want to focus on is the design team. Will there be an opportunity for community input, whether it be in committees, to add input to the design team?
The answer is yes. There will be the opportunity for input from the community, whether it's on an individual basis, a group basis, a formal league basis. Let me tell you a little bit about the philosophy of this restoration, just so that you can understand a little better. The property that we're talking about basically stretches for the entire South Shore parcel, which is currently 9 holes, crosses South Shore Drive over into Jackson Park, and then involves the 18-hole golf course at Jackson Park. So basically, the envelope of the restoration is 27 holes. From that 27 holes, the vision right now is to create a championship 18-hole golf course within this envelope, the existing envelope. We don't know exactly where that'll be, but we're starting to get a pretty good vision of it. And in addition to that championship 18 holes, there may be additional holes that are connector holes that are part of a loop of holes that you would play as regular league golfers. And there also is going to be a short course because we firmly believe that the future, not only this game, but this community is with the kids. And we've got to provide a place for the kids to can come and learn how to play golf and learn how to be caddies. I will tell you this about Tiger's design philosophy. It's very much like mine, and that is to take what is there and enhance it only, not change it. Our goal is to really not change what is here. That's number one. Number two, we have to preserve the activities that are adjacent to the golf that are not golf activities. So please rest assured that this magnificent building is not going to be transformed or utilized in any way, shape, or form for a golf operation. This is a cultural center. It's going to stay that way, and it's just going to get more utilization, we hope, because of the golf. This is not going to become a pro shop. This is a public beach out here. This is a public park. It needs access. It needs parking. It needs a lot of things that just cannot be disturbed. So what we are doing is looking at the pockets of land that have another use that have to stay that way. And there's a corridor all the way from the street out to this lake that is going to have to remain non-golf. And it is going to stay that way. The challenge of the design, and again, when they're welcome input, the challenge of the design is that these parcels of land are long parcels, but they are narrow parcels. Consequently, there's going to be some restrictions on what kind of holes you can actually restore that are existing, and what holes might be either new holes or added holes, because you can't play a hole from the lake out toward the street. There's no room. So we're going to have to go horizontal in this parcel. And because of that, there's really only two ways you can do it. You can go clockwise around the parcel, or you can go counterclockwise. That is still somewhat to be determined, but the holes have to be connected so that you can finish one and go to the next one. So a lot of the nature of the land here is going to determine really what these holes are like. On the parcel right on the other side of South Shore and 67th there, where you have golf holes now on Jackson Park, that's a different parcel, but again, a very narrow one. It runs primarily from west to east, but it's extremely narrow. You cannot have golf holes in that parcel that go north to south. There's just not enough space. So the routing, as it's called in golf course design, which is the sequence of the holes, is really not going to change dramatically at South Shore. It may at Jackson Park, but only once you get up into the far western parcel where you have a significant area of land that can be utilized. So that is one of the challenges. What kind of a course is it going to be? People are asking me constantly. We have a goal to make sure that we maintain accessibility. we maintain affordability, that no matter what is done, those two things are in place when this restoration is done. And in order to do that, we have to create golf holes that really are designed first for golfers like you. Is there a way to build a golf hole out here that is a good test for Dustin Johnson when really it's a golf hole for you? The answer is yes. There is. That's going to be 1 week a year if there's a golf tournament out there, and I hope there is. And I think there will be someday. But we're going to accommodate the differences in the levels of play primarily by the team areas. It is likely we really want to utilize some of this lakefront because this is a lakefront golf course right now. We're not building a new course on the lake. We're restoring what's here. And there'll be some kind of a hole, I'm pretty sure, goes along the lake out here in front. We're not going to have a team area out here. This is your picnic area. This is your access to the beach. That would be too short a hole for Dustin Johnson anyway. The tee for Dustin Johnson has to be over there on the other side of the roof building. Nobody's even going to know it's there. It's only going to be used 1 week a year. But he's going to have to play across all that to get over to there where you all are playing from right out there. That's the hole. So that's a long answer to yes, you can be involved in the input, and that's kind of the nature of what we're trying to create.
Mr. Robin, that being said, do you all have any preliminary designs that could be shared with the community as of yet?
There are some preliminary designs, but there is no 18-hole plan that has been done yet because we have not completed the engineering study yet. We are about 2 to 3 weeks away from having that. What we have is an envelope within which this restoration is going to occur. And that envelope of land is only the land that is currently in golf utilization for both South Shore and Jackson Park. So we're only identifying those areas right now. And then as we get this engineering study, nobody has done an engineering study in 100 years on this course. Nobody really knows what's underneath the ground. Nobody really knows what the irrigation system looks like or why the bunkers at Jackson Park end up with puddles in the bottom of them all the time because it doesn't rain that much. We're trying to assess that first before we actually start designing the holes. So it would be pretty premature to actually design those holes.
Thank you very much. Ms. Henderson?
Spoke to the accommodation for children and how this is a mission to make sure more children are here. So now I'm going to actually move on to the affordability. Will there be grandfather rates for current clubs like the Chicago Women and other leagues that play here already?
Yes, I want to know if I can get a tea time in the men's league on Monday night. Don't they play Monday? I want to know when the first men's league game is on Monday night. I want to do that. This golf course, this combination of restored golf courses is going to be all about accessibility for the community. The game of golf in general is changing. It's not growing the way it should. It's not growing the way it did for a long time. And there really are 3 challenges that golf is facing. 3 challenges. You can put almost every issue into one of 3 categories. Either the game is too difficult, it takes too long, or it costs too much. It's too difficult, it takes too long, or costs too much. And the vision of the Chicago Parks Golf Alliance and the core of our mission statement is to look at those 3 issues, figure out how we can address those in this project. Can we change everything about growing the game right here? No. But can we begin to institute policies and programs that really change the way golf is played? And I think the answer is yes. We can make it less difficult by, first of all, restoring holes so that they're playable. As you see on your sheet there, I've watched people play golf out here a lot. I have up in Sydney or Merrimack too. You've got very narrow fairways, you've got very small greens, you've got rough, you've got, some of the fairways out here are narrower than the US Open fairways were at Oakmont last year. I think with a look at some of the maintenance procedures that were done, we could make this course more playable. We got to make sure the greens are open in the front. You've got to be able to use the ground. That's going to be a huge, huge priority. Second of all, the game takes too long. Part of what we're hoping is that we can actually create a series of loops between South Shore and Jackson Park that can be played in different configurations depending on how much time you have to play golf. Right now, everybody's working harder. They're working twice as hard as they used to accomplish the same thing or make the same amount of money. So there's people don't have time to play 5 hours worth of golf. If you have 2 hours of time that you can play golf, we want to be able to accommodate that. And so what we're hoping is that we create a model here at South Shore and Jackson where you can play a 6-hole loop of golf at lunchtime, where you can maybe start at one end or maybe start at the other end. Or we're not sure, Paul, but we know that we want to be able to accommodate as many people as possible at affordable rates. And part of that is going to be how do we utilize the facility that right now is underutilized. There's a lot of empty tee times, where that tee is empty that can be changed. Part of that is going to be educating people about what makes the game easier. If we mow the greens at the same speed that they were mowed at Augusta National yesterday morning, most of you wouldn't have any fun out here at all. Part of the reason why it's difficult to start golfers in the morning on different holes is because the perception is the greens have to be freshly mowed in the morning. And therefore, the maintenance crews have to be out ahead of everybody mowing the greens. I'm not sure that's going to be the future of our game. It might be a little slower, but if we can have a whole lot more people playing golf because we've been mowing the greens late in the afternoon the day before, that's something we ought to consider. The other thing is, with it being cost too much, there's two things you can do. There's two ways you can make the financial model of a project look better. You can either increase your revenues or you can decrease your costs. In this case, we don't want to try to look at it and say, how are we going to increase revenues from it at all? That's not the goal at all. That's not going to happen. Can we decrease costs? The answer is yes. We can maintain these courses differently for less money. It actually would be better for all of you as golfers. Interestingly enough, when people watch the Masters, they get this impression that golf courses have to be lush green grass. It's way harder for you to play on lush green grass than it is on more brownish, thinner grass where the ball goes farther and you can roll it. Is that going to change overnight people's perception of that? No, 10 years from now. It will. We're going to run out of water.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson. Okay, is Mr. Senator Curry appreciating the happy days?
Good evening, everyone. Hi. We have a couple of concerns. We have 4 questions, if that's okay. And I will try to make it very quick. One, which I'm sure you can answer right the courses here, that's going to be put here. And as an addition to that, we're talking about the affordability piece. Will that include senior discounts and or still allowing our juniors to play for free? I'll just lump those together.
Okay, those are good questions. First of all, let's address the junior situation. Yes, juniors are going to play for free. If we're going to invest in our kids, that's the only way to do it. And when I say free, I don't mean free after 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, or free with an accompanying adult. Free is free. So the answer is yes, free is free. I truly believe that we're going to be able to have a mix of play that has transit visitor rounds at very high rates that are effectively going to be subsidizing our ability to keep the rates for you all at the lowest possible price point. And that is the #1 priority. Right now, all the visitors that come to Chicago, and there are a lot of them that come to play golf, all they do is flock to the suburbs. But the reason they do that is because there's water in all the bunkers at Jackson Park. And because of all the issues that we talked about before, irrespective of a presidential library or a tournament or anything else, you deserve to have these courses fixed up. It's been like this for 100 years.
Thank you for that. The next question, actually, we were talking about the routing. And so, I hear from twofold here. Right there at Jeffrey Boulevard, at pole 6 and 7, and then 12, 13. Is there going to be an underpass or an overpass to connect that so we are not crossing Jeffrey, which is a very dangerous street? We're trying to get through these cars or walking, whatever. So I just wanted to know about, have you thought about how that routing is going to take place there? And more importantly, I'm not speaking for everybody else, but I know some of the ladies, I'm concerned about when we get to the night home, is there going to be a new concession building there with a bathroom? Is it going to turn back into the clubhouse, or are you going to put something off the ninth hole where it will be safe? We can get sandwich or something, but more importantly, where we have safe restroom facilities. The one that we have here, we had for years, but they had to close up due to issues, so we're just for a safe location.
Okay. Yes. Everything that you're talking about is going to be accomplished. I don't know how many people love the blue building, the blue roof out here. I think you're going to see a change to that pretty quickly. We're not exactly sure of what the routing sequence of the holes is going to be. So at this point, we're not saying that there are going to be restrooms in a